And there were a couple things she like addressed that might improve. So she takes her things out for lunch and then give her lunch.
I'd like to bring the meeting to order and ask that roll be called.
Bergeron.
Here.
Feldman.
Here.
Hall.
Here.
Holthauser. Here. Tyra.
Here.
Wagenbach.
Here.
Yen.
Here.
I'd like to ask everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. First order of business is a public hearing for the resolution for health, life, safety funds. Could I have a motion to open the public hearing?
I move to open the public hearing. One second.
Tim, any discussion? Roll call vote.
Bergeron.
Aye.
Feldman.
Aye.
Hall.
Aye.
Holthauser.
Aye.
Tyra.
Aye.
Wagenbach.
Aye.
Yen.
Aye.
Motion carried, time is 6:02. Is there anyone who would like to address the board regarding the resolution for health, life, safety funds? Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll move to close the public hearing.
Nick, is there a second?
I'll second.
Youssef, roll call vote.
Feldman.
Aye.
Hall.
Aye.
Holthauser.
Aye.
Tyra.
Aye.
Wagenbach.
Aye.
Yen. Bergeron.
Aye. Okay, motion carries. Time is still 6:02. The board will now move on to public participation portion of the meeting. Dr. Dearman will begin with the superintendent's report.
Good enough. For the sake of our audience, I think we'll move some things around a little bit. First thing I would like to do is student recognition of Dunlap High School senior Tommy Yeager, who finished first place in extemporaneous speaking at the IHSA state finals, and his coach, Mr. Tony Felicia. So I'll turn it over to Tony if you'd like to introduce Thomas.
Alright, yes, I'm Mr. Tony Felicia, first year here in the district, first year as a coach. Had the honor of coaching a wonderful team just comprised of so many wonderful individuals, talented in so many aspects, and just one of the peak accomplishments that we had this year was having a 3 state qualifiers and then 1 state champion. So, Tommy, you want to come on? I knew within probably the first conversation I had with him, he knew what he was doing. And he knew, just hearing about his strategy and approach to the extemporaneous speaking event, I knew that he knew what he was doing, just kind of led him to what he does best, and it just proved itself over the year. I've also been thoroughly impressed with his leadership. He was senior captain, managed the speech team website, kind of from the ground up. And so to him for a lot of logistics of that and a phenomenal job with that, and leading warm-up cheer, or not cheers, but exercises, sometimes 6:30 a.m. on this very cold Saturday morning in January. And, but yeah, leading up to last month, placed first in practically all of the regular season tournaments. State series went first all through, and of course the state. Just to give you an idea of what the event entitles, he gets half an hour to prep on a topic, which is a policy-based question, and using sources and his own knowledge and gathering, put together a 7-minute speech, which is timed, kind of a little bit more under the pressure. So, again, it is a great event to know how to speak on your feet, very quick thinking, very critical thinking skills. And so I'm just, again, thoroughly impressed with what he did this year, and it's a huge accomplishment for the team and the district to put us on that.
Really, all the thanks goes to me, because Mr. Felicia is a former student of mine, so all the knowledge I imparted on him, he delivered to Tommy. So next one we have is Mr. Jeremy Conley. He is here with some EMS students, so I'll turn it over to Ms. Conley.
Well, my name is Jeremy Conley, and it is an honor to present an initiative that has become a vital part of Wilder Way Grade School's culture, Project Impact. 10 years ago, my teaching partner, Mrs. Arnett, and I set out to provide Wilder Way fifth graders with a valuable chance to find ways to become actively involved in their community. We hope to create a group where through various service projects in school and in the wider community, our students can learn the true meaning of positive citizenship, leadership, and giving back. And out of that vision, Project Impact was created. We're incredibly proud of the work this group has accomplished over the past 10 years, and we're excited to share more about Project Impact with you tonight. This year, when I stepped into a new position in our building, Mrs. Arnett has taken over a much bigger role in organizing and leading this group, which is, as you'll see, quite an undertaking, and it's a great testament to her dedication to our students and our school. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to her and some very special fifth graders who are going to tell you more about Project Impact.
Just like Mr. Conley said, we're super excited about starting this. When I came back to the district 10 years ago, we wanted to do something to give back to the community and really teach the kids the importance of empathy toward others, the understanding that when we give back, even at 10 years old, we can do really great things. And so I'm really proud of all of them, and we wanted to kind of showcase that. When we were coming up with this idea, we had 4 pillars. Hands-on service projects was something we wanted to do, focusing on health and wellness initiatives. We wanted to do as many donor drives as we could, and then school-wide service opportunities. So our students kind of do this every single month. Mr. Conley and I, for the past 10 years, have each month kind of set out different projects. So they change each year, and we're really proud of everything that we've done and the money we've raised, but mostly seeing the kids that are seniors, juniors come back and say, we love Project Impact, and I've gone back to the Midwest Food Bank, and I am involved in the student council at the middle school or the high school because of this, and that's really why we started it. It's an opportunity for them to be able to all get involved at first and hopefully carry that on into their lives moving forward. So I just want to share these great people with you. We've got Maya, Libby, Morgan, Ray, and Ryan, and they're going to tell you a little bit about all of it.
One of the activities we do is the annual Veterans Day Assembly. Each November, Project Impact leads our school's Veterans Day Assembly, honoring local heroes with performances, thank you cards, and heartfelt tributes to their service. We also do a service day at Epic where Project Impact students volunteer at Epic to support individuals with disabilities through hands-on activities, building friendships, and understanding while making a real difference. We also do Midwest Food Bank Service Day. Our fifth graders sort and pack food at Midwest Food Bank, learning about food insecurity while helping provide meals for families throughout our community. One of the other pillars of Project Impact is the Health and Wellness Initiative. One of our activities is the JDRF fundraiser. Project Impact students organize an annual basketball game as a fundraising event to support the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, or JDRF in short, raising awareness and funds for diabetes research. Some other activities we do is the relay races. Project Impact organizes and leads the American Cancer Association relay races, promoting cancer awareness while having fun and supporting vital research. During them, we make cards for nursing homes. Students create handmade cards to brighten the days of nursing home patients, spreading joy and building connections across generations in our community.
The next pillar is the donation drives. One of the projects that we do for the donation drive is the blanket drive. Project Impact makes blankets for the kids at OSF Children's Hospital. Families donate fleece and students cut and tie it into blankets to provide comfort and warmth for all children in need. Another project we have is the winter warmth drive. When the temperature drops, Project Impact collects coats, hats, and gloves for area families. Students help ensure everyone stays warm throughout the cold winter months.
During the holiday season, our students collect canned goods to help families in our community. Every donation makes a difference for those facing food insecurity.
Another thing we do is welcome books. Project Impact raises money in honor of all those battling cancer as well as the survivors in our community. The last pillar is school service. One of the activities we do is every morning we will go around and recycle through the building throughout the whole year. And there are also kindergarten helpers that will help with daily centers, daily dismissal, as well as working with the kindergarten students with marker recycling each week. Annual trick-or-treat travels. Fifth graders set up and run a treat show for all Wildcats on Halloween this year.
The nature classroom preparations is upkeep. Project Impact helps them prepare a nature classroom each fall and handles the upkeep throughout the year, making sure the mulch looks fresh and setting up the sheds and activities.
Thank you for taking the time so we can talk to you about a little bit about Project Impact. And together we're raising a generation of students who want to make a difference in their community.
You are more than welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, but you were just here for the presentations, and I'll give you time to see them. FOIA requests. We received 6 FOIA requests since our last meeting, and Mr. McKenzie has completed 5 of those requests. 1 is still in process. Regional Leadership Award. I'd like to congratulate Dr. Jennifer Hastings, who has received the Regional Leadership Award from the Illinois Alliance of Administrators of Special Education. This award honors special education professionals for exceptional leadership, dedication, and impact on students. Congratulations, Dr. Hastings. The groundbreaking ceremony for the new Walter Wade Grade School will be held roughly a month from now, on Friday, April 17th. The ceremony will begin at 11:15. That's 15 minutes later than what we had originally planned, but that's in working with Mrs. Berg. There's a PE class, and if we have inclement weather, we will need to go inside and be in our PE classroom with the students in PE. So that's the time change. I'll look for more information to be sent out in the upcoming week. We'll also be communicating this information on the district's Facebook page and district website. Unfortunately, the weather has not been cooperating the last couple of days, as you well know. Since we had to utilize our second emergency day of the year, this means the school will be in session on Friday, May 15th. The district calendar on our website has been updated to reflect this change, and information has been communicated through the district's Facebook page. Dunlap Valley and Dunlap Middle trophy pickup opportunity. Dunlap Middle and Dunlap Valley will be clearing out older trophies and plaques the week of April 20th. Community members, alumni, families who are interested in picking up older DVMS and DMS trophies are welcome to stop by and claim these items as they'd like to keep. This will also be shared on social media and posted. Next month's board meeting, Vic Zimmerman, who's with the Illinois Association of School Boards Executive Searches, will be here to present the results of the superintendent search to the survey to the board. Wilder Wake bids update. We had the bid opening last week, and then we met with PJ Hare earlier this week. The bids came in better than anticipated, which is good news. What we're looking at roughly right now is about 39 million, and that's with having worked with PJ Hare and talked with them. Some of the packages that went out were done in such a way that there were less expensive alternatives to make sure that we came in at the budgetary number that we had expressed, and obviously we did. But some of those, like the floors and the main thoroughfares, are going to be polished concrete. It would work, but it's not the nicest. That $39 million reflects we will be able to put terrazzo on the main entranceway and the main hallways. If you know anything about terrazzo, it wears like iron and it looks really nice. That's a nice upgrade. And again, that's included in the 39 million after we met with them and brought some of these things back. Some other improvements, handrail on some of the steps. There's a cheaper handrail. It would work, but it wasn't the nicest. We were able to upgrade that a little bit. And then one of the concerns that we heard in talking with staff was the acoustics, especially in the gymnasium. We were able to put in some additional sound panels in the gymnasium and also in the music area to help control some of that noise that bleeds out. So all those are within that. This basically worked out exactly or better than anticipated, because when we passed this, the language on the bonds was not only for Wilder Wake, but also other building improvements. And what we can do now is take some of the summer projects, if the board approves, of course, and move some of that bond money to cover those. I asked Dr. Adrian to get me a number of the items he's presenting tonight. About $475,000 of that money could move into that summer projects. And again, it's not a savings, I'm not claiming it is, it's a displacement, but it takes pressure off the operating funds. And as we've talked about before, we'll extend that timeline potentially, if we ever have to, potentially have to raise taxes to increase additional revenue. So it's a good thing, it's a start. I'm not saying we're at the finish line, a lot of work to do, but it's a good start. So thank you to PJ Hare and the work that they did in soliciting bids and doing this quality there. Other than that, I go to general construction update, and I'll take that to Dr. Adrian.
So as Dr. Dearman alluded to, the weather's been our nemesis recently with that cold snap we had for about 3 weeks and then the rain. We're back to work and resuming the schedule as normal. The interior framing of the office area, the dance room, the concessions, and those types of areas is 95% complete. They're starting to put door thresholds in there now. Next week, we look to do like a coordination of pouring the floor and putting the roof on. So they're working on that. They're going to be pumping the concrete over the open area of the roof and putting that in 3 different pours over the course of the next couple weeks. So once that's done, then we start hanging equipment from the ceiling and so forth, and things will pick up a little bit. On a smaller scale, you guys know the nemesis of the district has been the HVAC unit for the pool. We've been down on that for 5 or 6 years. I do want to commend Karen Jensen, the CEO of Farnsworth, for taking this project on personally herself. It appears that we've got that portion of the pool figured out, knock on wood, but it's really running at an optimal pace right now. Having said that, no sooner that happened, we had a little problem with the boiler and the heater there, and we have a new part coming for that tomorrow. Keep that running, but it's always something with that. You'll also, we've had some problems with the stadium sound and the floorboard out there over the last 5 or 6 years. It's intermittent voltage issues. Well, when we went to address some other things, we discovered that the main power line to the stadium from the power box was faulty, and it was actually buried in the ground directly, not in conduit. We think we eliminate a lot of those problems, but it does require some directional boring and some conduit put in place to address those. Overall, though, like I want to echo Dr. Newman's sentiment while I've got the audience, but John Sullivan and his team team of PJ Hare and Nathan Zook with their team there at Ratio. We've had dozens of meetings over little details, so they have been transparent, they've been very communicative through the process. Their work pre-bid has really saved the district a lot of money by getting the competitive nature of it going. So very pleased with that. One of the things that's not mentioned in that is we are working with the township of Radnor and Moore and Kerr, because we are going to have to do some improvements to the roads in front of Wilder Way once this gets going. So in that bid package, you may not have noticed, but all the entryways and the parking lots are concrete, which is a big deal for us. That's a huge longevity piece to that building. But those, the roads coming in Pacific, Atlantic, and 3rd Street are really in poor shape. Good news is the township is willing to take a good portion of that on, but we're going to have to contribute to that project also. We're trying to get the actual city of Peoria involved too, because Pacific is annexed into the city. So that's really their road, even though it's primary use for us. So that's going to be a little bit of expense down the road, but that won't be till next summer, but I want you to be aware of that.
Thank you, Dr. Adrian. Mr. Feldman, that's all I have, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, you just have to do that. Something you want to share?
Oh, I just wanted to mention, you probably saw the news article, like the WHA or Muslim Student Association, this past week, I believe that they have fed over, they partnered with the organization here in Dunlap to help feed over 100 different homeless people in the community. This is during the month of Ramadan where they're fasting from sunrise to sunset. The reason I'm bringing this up, since most of you guys already know, is unfortunately on the Facebook comments and stuff, there's been a lot of individuals, even from the Peoria area, that have spoke so negatively about these students and about just the religion overall. And a lot of these students, they have social media, they have Facebook, they're seeing these comments and they're affected by this. And I just want the parents and the students to know that from what I know about our community, about Dunlap, that the teachers, administrators, they've always been supportive of every single student, regardless of background, regardless of religion. And whenever there's a problem, they always speak with them and help them out. And so we're there for them no matter what. And these, hateful comments and stuff have not, they don't belong in our school system. And so anybody that has seen them and they know those individuals, I advise you to speak up for our students, because that's what we're here for. Let them know that we're there for them. And one more thing, this Friday is the end of the Ramadan, it's going to be the holiday, so I'm very grateful for Dunlap School District to allow these students to use one of the holidays, one of their days off for the religious purpose, because there are a lot of districts that don't allow that. Specifically where I'm from in Quebec, Canada, they completely banned that, so, they're not allowing students to take off, and if they do, there might be tests that are set on that day, and they basically fail that test again. So I'm just very proud of our district for being able to be so open-minded to the students, and that's all I wanted to bring up, so.
Okay, thank you, Yusef. At this time, we'll move on to public comments. Is there anyone who wishes to address the board? If so, raise your hand. Okay, Coach, step to the podium. I'm going to read something while you make your way. Before addressing the board, I would like to remind you of our process. Per board policy 2.230, we ask that when addressing the board, please identify yourself and be brief. Brief, Coach. Comment shall be limited to 5 minutes. The speaker is asked to please conduct themselves with respect and civility towards others. Individuals less than 18 years of age are permitted to address the board. The board typically does not engage in two-way conversations during the public portion of the meeting. Any follow-up response will be addressed by administration at a later date to be respectful of others and protect confidentiality. Complaints against individual students, staff members, or board members, either named or unnamed, shall not be orally presented to the Board of Education. Such complaints should be put in writing, signed by the person or persons making the charges, and delivered to the Board of Education Secretary. At this time, I'd like to ask anyone who wishes to address the board to come forward, sign the participation sheet, and let us know what you're going to be talking about.
Just the junior high wrestling program.
Have at it.
So my name is Eric Mueller. I've been involved with the wrestling program here at Dunlap since it started in 2019. at the high school. This year, we were successful. I helped run the intramural junior high program, and we had students from both Dunlap Valley and Dunlap Middle School participate in that program, with roughly right around 25, both boys and girls. It was a 6-week program, 2 nights a week, learning the basics of wrestling, and along with that, we did a lot of just general exercises for the students. I want to say, based on a survey I did with those students, they were very happy. They're very excited about the potential of a full-time ISA program in the future. So overall, I'm pleased that hopefully that will happen. And I just want to thank everybody on the board for their continued support for Dunlap Wrestling.
Is there anyone else that would like to address the board? Okay, this concludes the public participation portion of the meeting. The board will now move on to information discussion items. School activity reports have been included in the board packet. Is there any discussion? Information regarding the 2026-2027 board meeting dates has been included in the board packet. Is there any discussion? Approval of the administrator contract. Information regarding the administrator contract list has been included in the board packet. Is there any discussion? Next, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Is there any discussion regarding items on the consent agenda? Could I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Andrew, is there a second?
Second.
Nick, any discussion? Roll call vote.
Paul?
Aye.
Goldfelder?
Aye.
Tyra?
Aye.
Weidenbach?
Aye.
Young? Bergeron?
Aye.
Feldman?
Aye. Okay, motion carries. Bill list, treasurer's report, direct investment report, and bank statements have been included in the board packet. Do I have a motion to approve payment of the bills?
I'll move to approve the payment of the bills, the amount of $9,137,749.20 as presented.
Nick, is there a second?
I'll second.
Tim, any discussion? Roll call vote.
Goldfelder?
Aye.
Tyra?
Aye.
Weidenbach?
Aye.
Young? Bergeron?
Aye.
Feldman?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Information regarding the health, life, safety resolution has been included in the board packet. Could I have a motion to approve the resolution?
I move to approve the resolution as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seth? Roll call. Any discussion? Roll call.
Tyra?
Aye.
Weidenbach?
Aye.
Young?
Aye.
Bergeron?
Aye.
Feldman?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Goldfelder?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Information regarding the 2026-2027 student handbooks has been included in the board packet. Could I have a motion to approve the handbooks? I'll move to approve the handbooks as presented. Can I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion?
Tom, who reviewed the handbooks from the board perspective?
Second. Dr. Andrews can tell you that. I don't know. Tell me, who showed up for those meetings for the handbook reviews? If any, for the board?
Oh, for the board? At the elementary meetings we had, that was virtual. I think schedule-wise for middle and high school, that's
Did you do just the elementary or all?
So,
And
so Nick went to the elementary side? Okay.
next question is, Mick, I know you mentioned last meeting about the AI glasses or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Is that in or out?
Oh, any questions?
Yeah. that says they're not allowed in school?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, starting next year. Yeah.
Are they coming in now?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, we have several of them.
okay.
Yes.
It's gonna be interesting next year for you.
And what do you do with those now, Katie?
So
I
the
mean, it's not in the handbook for this
Right.
current year, what do you do?
Right, so the biggest concern so far has been with teachers has been cheating, right? So I just told them that they need to let them know their prescription, they need to bring their other prescription glasses and they put it in the cell phone pocket, like they do their cell phones when they're taking a test.
The handbook, did it say it's only during school hours? Is that what it says?
Yeah, just during school hours.
So like for sports and all that, or is that considered school hours?
I mean, that's not really a concern. Our concern was mostly the cheating and then, having to go to the restrooms and washrooms. We're kind of already, but, I mean, I don't think we would prohibit anything else.
I just didn't know if a lot of rooms outside for the school.
Sure, yeah. No, we only put in, this handbook for the most part, we only put in there like apps.
Yeah.
It's like work address.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are some of them prescription, those AI glasses?
So I know they can get prescription.
Oh.
The ones that are kids have their prescription.
And I keep doing that because I know they can take a picture with the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Push button.
Yeah, thank you.
Can you do prescription?
They can be. They get a prescription, and if you touch the button, they can broadcast live online.
Yeah.
Until they come out of contacts.
Other discussion or questions about the handbook? Okay, roll call vote.
Achenbach.
Aye.
Young.
Aye.
Neutron.
Aye.
Feldman.
Aye.
Paul.
Aye.
Olshauser.
Aye.
Tyler.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Information regarding the 2026 summer projects has been included in the board packet. Do I have a motion to approve the 2026 summer projects?
I'd make a motion to approve them, but I'd like to make an amendment. I don't like to add new projects if we don't have money, then we don't have money. So I would hold the bullpens off both ball fields and batting cage off.
That's it. Your motion is to approve the summer projects less the two bullpens
And the batting cage.
and the batting cages.
One batting cage at Valley.
I guess it's one guy.
Minus the batting cages and the.
Bullpens.
Let's get a second to that motion first. Okay, can Tim get a second to that motion?
Can I ask a question before we do a second one?
About his, yes, you can.
To try to understand this, is it a Title IX requirement, the bullpens and the batting cage? Or is it just a wish list item? What do we have here?
The bullpens, in my view, are a priority age safety item. If you've been to a baseball, softball game, I don't care if you have bleachers or not, or in the infield or outfield, there's gonna be people lined up on the first and third baseline. Well, unfortunately, that's where our bullpens are. So our kids are warming up, our high school kids are throwing close to, 85 miles an hour. Our softball girls are throwing in the 55s and 60s, maybe more. And when we have parents and grandparents and little kids sitting there watching the game, they're not paying attention to somebody warming up alongside them. So for me, it's an easy expense because it's not that much money considering what the outcome could be. So that's a priority safety item. And for the coaches and administrators. That said, batting cage is something we'd like to have in there, right? That's something the coaches brought to Mr. Holmes, and we brought it forward as part of the summer program.
And just for, assuming not everyone has these memorized, the bullpens are about 18 grand a piece, if I recall, but I don't remember the batting cage.
Yeah. Well, that's for construction of the nuts and materials of the actual cage. That's paid for out of, I think Boosters has got money for that, and Mr. Holmes came up with money for that.
For what? For what's that for?
But the
The
bullpen,
batting cages, the batting cages.
it's just the bullpens though, were
Can you pull up a
18
visual
apiece.
of this?
Correct.
Yeah.
All right.
District cost is 18 and 19 on the bullpens. And if the boosters pay more, that's above that.
Not for the bullpens, no. They are paying more for the batting cage.
How much is the district paying for both of them, is my question.
That's the number I've got.
Okay.
Do you want to add
I mean, the
something?
actual
Yeah,
field,
Oh, yes.
so I could see what he's talking about. I can do it on my computer.
Okay.
That's what, you know what I'm trying to see what this is. Maybe Dr. Adrian, you can come up and maybe show me here.
My only concern with, I'm fine with the batting cages. I mean, that's a one, it'd be nice to have them, we can live without them. The concern I have, and it's my job to keep the district out of harm's way, is now that we've identified a safety with the warm-up areas for the high school softball and baseball kids, we've identified it, we're choosing not to address it. Heaven forbid there ever is an accident, I'm afraid we could be held negligent because we didn't take action to correct a safety situation that we knew existed. So keep that in mind as you consider this.
Has there ever been an incident in the last 40 years?
Where is this gonna be? Is there not a fence right
I've
here?
seen balls whipping through there, whether somebody reported it to me that they got hurt, no, not that I'm aware of, Katie would probably know better.
So how far down?
No one.
Jason?
I was at a game on Friday, our first softball game, and D&D was warming up on that first base line. It was windy on Friday. They use those portable nets, backstops, backstop fell in catch from D&D. So we're using portable backstops right now to stop the ball hitting fans, other athletes, or whoever's around coaches. And that netting, that backstop fell in the back, so you can catch it. So the wind.
That's a bullpen today, right?
dugout.
That's a dugout. I see.
All right, other comments or discussion on this?
Yeah.
I will just add to it. I mean, yes, it was colored correctly. It wasn't red. It was, the batting cage was yellow, not red. But it's 10,000. So it's not, bullpens were 18 or 19 apiece, but the batting cage was 10. I just want to clarify.
Right.
Okay, fabulous. All right, other questions or discussions or about, we got off track here with the motion.
Need a second.
Well, all right, you're good with your motion as presented?
You can see what happens, when we don't have money, I'm not gonna spend it, so. If you guys find money, good for you.
All right, so Tim had a motion that he made, which was to approve the summer projects less the 2 bullpens and the batting cage, and that requires a second to continue.
May I ask another question?
You may.
Have we had any incidents to date? Close calls?
Oh, yeah.
With my own.
Near misses, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And can they not sit
There's quite a
somewhere else,
few.
or practice somewhere else?
My concern, and Tim, I understand money, and you know that. One time that ball hit somebody in the eye that's walking around, and I almost got hit one time at a Major League Baseball game with that ball coming that fast, right? That's going to be tragic. So how high are these fences going to be to make sure that ball can't get out?
8 foot tall.
Pardon me?
8 foot tall. There's a fence on each end, and then there's a fence that separates the gate for the pitcher and catcher to walk into it, all up against the baseline fences that are existing.
Okay. And so Tim, I just wanted to let you know, I get what you're saying, okay? But that's, yeah, one incident would be too many.
Okay, so last call for a second on the current motion. Okay, so that motion is going to fail without a second. And I still would like a different motion for the summer projects.
I'll move to approve the 2026 summer projects as presented.
Is there a second to that?
No second.
Andrew, any more discussion? Roll call vote.
Bergeron,
Aye.
Feldman,
Aye.
Hall,
Aye.
Holzhauser,
Aye.
Tyra,
Aye.
Wagenbach,
No.
yeah.
Okay, motion carries. Information regarding the Chromebook refresh has been included in the board packet. Well, I asked for a motion. I know about this, so, Youssef, you want to say something?
I just have a few comments about this, since last time, I don't know if it's Kevin here. So I know last time you guys mentioned about Vermont, your request for the new laptops, and that if there was possibly new batteries or whatnot, it could last another year or so, but, afterwards, I spoke with Dr. Andrews, to get more clarification on this, because I didn't understand too much, what was going to go wait another year or so, and why I spend all the money right now. But then everything came in regards to the warranty aspect, and then, refresh system that's been going on, that's been implemented about 10 years ago, so, it talks with Dr. Andrews, and, you guys can talk about it a little bit more today too. It looks like the refresh system or cycle, some that's been brought in 10 years ago or so, and there's potential, instead of bringing in, laptops for 4 new grades, from 9 to 12, and then next year we would basically do 2 grades, 5 and 6, I believe. 4 and 5. Because from my understanding, it looks like the high schoolers, they're the ones that use the laptops the most, bring them home and they wear and tear much more. But the lower grades, they don't bring them home. So the wear and tear on those are a lot less. And so I don't think that the middle school or the younger students really need brand new laptops, after these 4 years or so. And so I think one of the discussions, one of the things I was proposing based on conversation, and I believe Kevin is aware of this, is that instead of providing the requested funding for the new Chromebooks this year for 9 to 12, we only purchased to renew for three grades, so basically 10 through 12, and that would be about 400 devices instead. And then next year, we can see with IT, if we actually need to purchase more laptops for grades 4 to 5, or if the current laptops are still good, or the ones from the high schools, we can hand them down to them, since they don't need the top software, from my understanding. So it could be at a point next year that we have to purchase a lot less laptops, or we have enough where we can have to spend the money on it. And so my understanding here is basically next year, if we only did it for 3 grades right now, next year we want to spend for 1 grade, which is the 9th grade class, then we'd be saving a lot of money. And my understanding is we would save about $184,500 if we were to only do it for 3 grades this year. So that means it brings us $85,000 underneath the budget that we have for the current refresh program. So based on this, I don't know if you want to make some comments, so people understand a little more.
Dr. Andrews, why don't you come up? You're on the mic. Kevin, why don't you come on down?
We'll be quick.
Just if you could, and again, I know that Youssef, and I love the engagement. I know he reached out to you in advance to talk about this, and so instead of what you all had proposed, or what was information at last month's meeting, was the wholesale, all, 4 years out. And what Youssef wants to do is do a modified motion. He doesn't want move what was presented last month. So I want 2 of you to, Youssef just said a lot there.
Right.
And so I want you to get it into something that, just summarize it.
Okay, so Kevin and I had a conversation about how we could potentially take a look at what was proposed to control some of that cost. Some of the constricting factors is that if we don't renew now, we're going to have to renew at some point. By 2029, our ability to auto update from the IT department, going when I send an email on Friday and I say, hey, all these Chromebooks need to have a new testing software application so they can be utilizing us with teachers on Monday to practice for AP exams coming up in less than 2 months. Kevin can do that very instantaneously. After that expiration, each device would have to be manually updated, not only for any mandated testing applications, anything that they use, and then also any security updates manually. So trying to avoid that, and then if we were backed up against the wall, then obviously having to do too many Chromebooks at once. So the thought was, this year we were proposing 4 grades. Next year was going to be 2 grades, 4 and 5. Right? Correct. And so it would be 3 grades this year, and then 3 grades next year. We can take a look at that in the meantime, because one conversation that Kevin and I had was, since we implemented one-to-one about 10 years ago, originally the refresh cycle was grades 4 through 8, and then 9 through 12, and then K through 3, and then we had a year off. So through the technology fee and through the technology lease levy, that was going to be covering the cost of the new. Since then, technology costs have only increased, and they're slated to only continue to do that, unfortunately. And so, to otherwise control for what we can for now, going to propose then for a potential proposal adjustment would be doing 3 grades. It would take the total proposed amount to $567,000, because that's 400 fewer devices than what was in the 1600s and 1200, so 1600 devices. And then, again, we would take a look at what next year would look like, as well as take a look at our refresh proposal to see at the elementary level, because we do have significantly less wear and tear on those devices, how we can stretch that out to a 4 or 5 year, or I'm sorry, 5 or 6 year cycle, replacing batteries, screens, as you said, they mentioned at the last meeting.
Give me the dollars again.
$567,000.
Which is what?
1,200 devices.
But that would be
3 grades.
But that's Yusef's idea is the 567. And what was it before his idea?
It was $751,600.
And there was something about, it was originally forecasted or budgeted to be more like
650 is what Mike had in the budget originally. And so
the 750 was going to be over what Mike had forecast or budgeted, and this would keep it under that. Yep. Let me ask just from a practical standpoint, from how this would, because I heard what you said last month about, just even we were late, but just later in the year in terms of getting you the last time this happened, and then it was kind of a mad dash to get it turned around. So from a practical standpoint, I like the idea certainly of getting closer to. This is a pay now or pay later situation, right? So we don't save the money, but we certainly conscious of it and get it back under what we thought it was going to be. Is going to the 3 grade instead of the 4, whatever Matt just said. I mean, is that? I know you can do anything, but can you do it, and will it make sense? Or is it going to be burdensome? I mean, it's going to be a mess for you.
It would be doable. It would be, all of the devices currently at the high school will be out of warranty at the end of this year. So we'll no longer be able to send them to Dell for replacement.
At the end of this current academic?
Yes, this current school year is the last year that they are under warranty, which is why we're looking to replace those. This year, we ran some numbers earlier. We've had, just at the high school, 400 devices be sent in for warranty repair. Most of that, a quarter of that was screens, and then the rest was batteries, keyboards, other faulty hardware. So that would all be on us to repair in-house for whichever grade does get replaced, likely the freshman. So that would be the main pain point for us. Moving to replace grades 10, 11, 12 this year, and then 4th and 5th and 9th next year, would work equally as well as far as keeping all of our software up to date. The software update, we are okay for a couple of years, but we can't push it out too much further than that.
When you do them in-house, labor's already here, right? But when you have to do something outside or ship it out, you can't do everything here, right? I mean, that's obviously, there's no maintenance, there's no repair estimate built into that difference that you talked about, correct? I mean, there will be additional cost onto that 567 by doing some of the additional repair work that you're gonna have to do on the ninth grade Chromebooks.
Right, and that's something that would come out of next year's budget or potentially the remainder of this year, since this would come out of the current fiscal year.
Trying to get a good beat on
Yeah.
what the delta is here, right? I mean, that's why I'm asking.
Do you have metrics on how many repairs you did to them, like in a year?
The 400 devices at the high school was just this year so far. Year isn't over yet. If I were to look for what we have done district-wide, it's higher, but we have noticed that with the newer devices that we put in at the middle school, since they have their own glass screens, which are much less likely to break, they're a lot more durable hardware-wise. The repairs on those have gone down significantly, less than half.
So
the
on
newer
average,
devices are a lot more.
what's the repair costs? Like a screen?
A screen is $40 to $50 depending on inventory at the time. We basically purchase used or secondhand parts when we can. We have a few vendors that we use.
And do you have, when these screens have to be replaced, do they get a replacement device? Do you have a?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, we'll give them a loaner and then replace or send the original out for repair or do it ourselves.
So from your perspective, and I tried to process everything you said. What would your recommendation be?
My recommendation would be to do a full refresh of the high school.
I'm going to ask the pros and cons there. Just tell me why you would do that.
Keeping everything consistent, having one grade with a different model in the same school. There would be a noticeable difference in performance in classes. I know standardized testing, STAR testing, works much better on the newer devices that we already have than on the Dell 3100s that the high school is currently using. So it's really a parity or equality between all of the students.
Stan, you said that if they have older laptops, their performance would, like you have data showing that their performance wouldn't be as good as other grades just because they're laptops. I just want to make sure because like that's what I want to check.
Yes, I could bring in 2 of the devices for you to use if you like. Yeah, the performance on the newer devices is a huge improvement, and it definitely would make a difference in how well they're able to use it to perform the schoolwork, standardized tests.
When you mentioned that like the 4th and 5th grade, like their devices last a lot longer, there's less wear and tear, so a lot less repairs for you to do. So is it a possibility that next year you wouldn't need funding or as much funding for 4th and 5th grade if their laptops can still be prolonged a little bit longer?
Yes, I would be much more comfortable delaying replacing 4th and 5th grade next year, because those ones stay in the classrooms. They are much less beat up.
So we could be saving more money basically doing it this way, where next year if we possibly only would have to spend for 9th grade versus 3 grades next year, we only get 3 this year.
Yes, I think that's it.
Thank you, I appreciate
I assume you're doing some, it's a volume buy, right?
Yes.
Are there cutoff points where if you take 400 out of the number that you're missing a volume discount? Or is it above a certain number, doesn't matter?
I believe at the amount that we're purchasing, it shouldn't matter. Good. I haven't asked for a new bill because I just got the information about reducing the purchase amount today, but I could check on that, but I believe that the price should be the same.
That wasn't enough time, found out earlier today, you don't have the information.
I have one more question. So the neglect and the breaking, do we hold them responsible for anything?
Yes. Yeah, if any student is found to be purposely abusing or destroying their device, they are charged full repair price for it. We have a list of what certain items on the devices are cost to be repaired. But we have had students just break the device in half and they get charged for with the device.
I want to make sure.
Okay, other questions or discussion on this? All right, so I'm,
Based on this, I would like to make a motion to approve funding for Chromebooks refresh in the amount of $567,100 for the 3 grades instead of the original $751,600.
okay, so you are going with the refresh less the freshman.
Yes.
For this year. Everyone hear that? So that motion needs a second.
Can you make that work? I'll second that. Can you make that work?
We can make it work.
And you're looking at we have more discussion, sorry.
Yeah, well, yeah, we just got it seconded, and now any discussion on the motion? Perfect.
Sorry. Then that creates a disparity from what you're telling me.
Yes.
And that's, I have a fundamental issue with that. So I just want to make my point out there.
I think that's a good point. The other thing that did not come up, I was made aware of this also earlier today, the performance aspect. That is something that was not part of the back and forth, the brief back and forth that I had. So that is, I think that is a piece that I'm not smart enough on it to know, but I have to take your word on it that there's a appreciable difference or measurable enough for you to mention it. So I'd say that's an issue also. Gives me a little pause. Okay, any other comments? So roll call vote on that.
Feldman?
I mean, no.
Hall?
No.
Holthouse?
No.
Tyler?
No.
Wagonberg?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Boudreaux?
Yes.
Okay, so that motion does not carry. Anyone else want to say anything on this?
I want to thank you for answering all our questions.
Yeah, I mean, I like the thought of it, and I appreciate the time and effort and discussion of it. Like Teresa said, it just gives me a little pause. The disparity there within the high school is a bit of a concern or an unknown, I guess. Just to vote yes right now.
Yeah, and I have to be honest, I didn't know about the performance aspects before bringing this up, so I'm glad you raised that.
But I think it's worth, next year
Yeah.
when we're looking at the 4th and 5th grade.
Yeah, next year we can talk about it's actually.
The refresh schedule and the student fees with that are associated things, absolutely.
Agreed.
Fees.
You said raise fees, you said?
That's a consideration you could have, yes, absolutely. Always.
Hold that, we'll make a note there for you, Tim. Would anyone else like to say anything else about this?
Let's go.
Okay.
Move back to.
So it's presented.
Somebody needs the motion.
You have a couple questions?
Yeah.
You call the questions? Yeah, I'll move to approve the Chromebook refresh as presented.
Okay, Mick, is there a second to that?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Teresa. Can't be any more discussion on this, so we'll go right to the roll call vote.
Hall?
Aye.
Holthauser?
Aye.
Tyra? Wagenbach?
What am I supposed to do? It's fine.
Jem? Bougeron,
No.
Feldman.
Aye. Okay, motion carries.
There's no other either.
Okay. Information regarding the Wilder Way construction bids. It's been included in the board packet. Do I have a motion to approve the Wilder Way construction bids?
I move to approve the bids as presented.
Thank you, Teresa. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Nick. Just because I know Dr. Adrian talked about it, Dr. German maybe introed that, but because you guys are here, you want to say anything? You had to sit through the Chromebook discussion. We all did. You want to say anything?
We are learning a lot. Now, when we were here last time before the board, we talked about the importance of getting the design done so that we could be out for bid no later than the middle of February. Getting that design done in that time frame was a major undertaking. And Ratio Design and Nathan and their sub-consultants, KED, Bluestone, Warren Kerr, RG Consulting, they did a great job in keeping on the timelines that we needed. So last Thursday, we had the bid opening. We had 29 bid packages. We had 109 individual bids come in. So everything that we had planned, that we've been telling the district was going to happen, has happened. And you can see by the results of the bids, we saved a considerable amount of money, both in the design that Ratio was able to come up with. We went back and forth and we were trying to weigh the pros and cons of different features in different parts of the design, and we came up with a happy medium on a lot of the things. And now with some of the things that we took out that were very important to Ratio, but that were also very important for us, cost savings, we're able to revisit those things. And overall, very pleased, very successful bid.
Thanks. Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
I have a question, Tom.
Yes. Yes.
Comment. Maybe this is for Dr. Adrian. And that's a great job on the bids. Outstanding. You indicated earlier about the roads. Okay, you said the Pacific part's in the city, right? And the others in township. Is that what you said?
The exterior roads off the campus are not in that.
Yeah, you're right. So I'm asking about that. So one is in the city and one's in the township, and you're expecting hopefully to get some contribution from them?
They're working on, yes. I mean, I talked to Frank Strong. They feel like that's going to be part of their obligation. But whenever a developer develops a subdivision, they've got to help improve some of the infrastructure. And we're that developer in this case. I don't have a number on it yet. We just did the conceptual drawings, and they're trying to get the preliminary price on those. But for the most part, with the exception of, I want to say, Atlantic is the road. We're still looking at hot mix asphalt, is what we're looking at for those roads. So, with hopefully some concrete aprons, if you go by that area now, the intersections are just terrible where you turn in there. So, we're gonna have 600 kids there to start with, and, all those families. So, we wanna make sure that the approaches to that building are nice. I think it's gonna be, fairly reasonable. And like I talked to Tim Wagenbach earlier, it'll probably be a part of the negotiation when we talk about it, but I don't expect it to be very contentious. I mean, so far, the mood's been very welcoming, and hey, let's solve this problem together. And they're willing to increase the right-of-ways, use up some of the space to make it safe for that. If you recall, Creek, on that south side where the buses are coming, that's where our most concern is, on that Atlantic Road. That would get the most wear and tear every day. But if you also recall, there's 2 lanes coming in on the parent side and 1 going out. I know there was a concern about some parking, but when we have events 3 or 4 times a year when we have all the grandparents and families come, there's gonna be plenty of queuing spaces in the parking that right-hand lane. So I feel good about the pavement. The time right now is good. I mean, hopefully it'll be that way next summer, but only time will tell.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, other questions, discussion on that? While we wait, still, roll call vote.
Paul?
Aye.
Holzhauser,
Aye.
Tyra,
Aye.
Wagenbach,
Aye.
Young,
Aye.
Fluturon,
Aye.
Feldman.
Aye.
Dick.
Okay, motion carries. Be a good time for you guys to leave if you want. Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, next we're gonna get into the, staffing requests. You were presented as a group for information at last month's meeting. I asked for them to be broken out in categories because I believe they all, had or come with their own justification. They're all very different. So, there's 5 different, items, but for 10, same 10 positions that were on the screen from last meeting. Okay, that is the preamble. First one,
Tom, can I make a couple comments?
ahead of, sure.
Yeah. I just wanted to take a quick moment and thank the administrators that were so kind to give me their time over the last couple of weeks and to kind of discuss these FTEs and positions. I really felt that your insights were invaluable to helping me, come to the conclusions about the needs for these roles. So just again, wanted to let you guys know that I'm very appreciative of the opportunity to meet with me.
Yeah, thank you, Nick. And I should have said, behind the scenes, I do know that a few board members, certainly including Nick, had some one-on-one discussions with a couple of administrators, and there has been some additional data shared via email with the board, some benchmarking, some other things that we have discussed. I know that's handy on the laptops if anyone, when we get into the roles or positions tonight, you guys will be able to speak to it. But there has been a fair amount of dialogue since the last meeting about these positions. Okay, with that, information regarding the 2026-2027 elementary counseling position at Hickory Grove Elementary School has been included in the board packet. Could I have a motion to approve this position?
I'll move to approve the position as presented.
Nick, is there a second?
I'll second.
Andrew, is there discussion on this position?
Tom, if I could,
Yep.
to save having to maybe re-travel the same path here 5 different times, I want to make clear, I appreciate the effort of the administration in bringing forward these 10 positions, even though we're breaking them down for purposes of our vote. I think that there has been an effort on behalf of the administration over the last few years to avoid having to add positions maybe as the need grew, but now they've gotten to the point where they need these. And I didn't take the list as a list of, boy, we'd love to someday, if possible, make this happen. The things that were on the list, all 10 of them, are important to the buildings that they're going to be in the administrator positions and the special ed positions. They are important. I think they are badly needed. And so I intend to support all of them.
Okay, thank you, Nick. Any other discussion?
I have a couple comments.
Yep.
Maybe a question.
Okay.
Okay. And as I'm looking at these, and of course, with positions, I completely understand that. My question is, what was the intent to fund these, knowing that we've been in a deficit every year and continue to be in a deficit moving forward?
The intent to fund it would be, as we have every year, we always take a look at our retirees, and we continue to look at our student population and make adjustments to FTE and placements there. If we can attrition anything, of course, that's always a consideration. But looking at the difference between any position that we rehire as opposed to the outgoing individual salary, looking at that is it an apples to apples swap? No, in this case it's not, because we do have a healthy number of positions that are being presented.
I guess my question is, I get that, I understand that, I know as people go out, that's
Right.
it, that's every place, right? The salaries are higher. But you still do anticipate a deficit, correct, moving forward?
We do, I think Mr. McKenzie's forecast is done.
I included in that forecast I sent to you last month, 650,000 new salaries in the education fund, in addition to the raises for everybody else. I did not put in that calculation savings from the retirements. That's always a little fluffy until you hire, anything you can hire, kind of thing. So, but that did not increase. But 650 to hire this new position before it wasn't an increase. That's $200 some thousand loss in the education fund.
So if I look at it holistically, I understand what you're doing there with those positions, right? So if we look at the holistically, right, since our expenditures are increasing at a faster pace than our revenues, you would agree with that statement?
The last several years, that's absolutely.
And that's going to continue. It's expected to continue, right? That's where my concern is, and as a board member, we are responsible to, financial stewardship is one of our, public tax dollars. We got to look at those public funds. So my question is, if we to do this, where can we compensate somewhere else that's not going to affect the students? Because, I'm looking forward. I don't want the future board's going to have a problem if we continue at this pace of what we're doing now, and that's my biggest concern. So I am challenging you. I would not have any issue with this if you could balance the budget. No issue at all. But my concern is moving forward. And I'm willing to help out, and I thank you for what you've done there, Joseph, digging in there. But that's my concern, because 3 years down the road, we're given this, and it's not, the education of the students is first and foremost, right? But we got to get this under control, and that's where my concern lies. So I challenge you. I would not have any issue approving these if we can get that budget balanced. But knowing what that future looks like with our expenditures going up at a higher pace than our revenues are coming in, that's my big concern.
I would just add, we did talk about middle school concept. Has that been even talked about, or we just kind of brushed it aside? That was an option to save some money.
Well, I was made aware of that this evening, and that was a point that was brought up the other day. We have not looked at removing programs. I was told to bring positions for as changes to program.
Well,
if that's something you want to do, you absolutely can. That's just
and to that specific point, but to Teresa's larger or broader comment there, I mean, some of the middle school concept was an item, one of many, that Dr. Dearman had brought forward as, hey, here's some things for the school board, for the board to look at. That was actually in September 22nd. He brought that list, and I mean, after that meeting, I mentioned this to you, Tim, but there was a flurry of conversation here, on the emails, talked about finance committee. I mean, we were going to talk about it. And then we each had the opportunity, I think everyone did take the opportunity between November and now. Everyone sat down individually, or in a couple of small groups with Dr. Andrews, kind of went through that list of expenses that were presented. And yes, I don't disagree with any of Teresa's comments. I do believe that moving forward, it's going to continue to be a predicted problem until it's going to become more real every day. Approving budget deficits is not something that we want to do, but it's something that we had to do last really 6 years that I'm aware of. And, but until we get serious about the expense side and maybe take a harder look at some of those items, we're going to continue to find ourselves in this.
We have some difficult conversations.
But I did mention to you, and I'll call out myself for this. I did say that in the middle school concept I came up again. I said I think it would be a good idea for you and whoever you would need, maybe at a high level, and speak to the board about that, because I know that I could not speak intelligently about what it is, how it's different, who else does it versus us, what that real savings is. I know that Dr. Dearman took a swag at, what a number would be. It was on his, it's all available to the public. It was in the, 300,000 range or something, but, that was 6 months ago, and we'd have to look at that again. But I think anything though from that September, October conversation, which was actually brought forward from 3 years prior, I won't say he just cut and pasted the same list, but I think he did. And so, we still have that at our, at our disposal to get real, have conversations about those. But those are the items, and we can. I love the engagement on the Chromebook discussion. I mean, went a little long, but I mean, I think that those are the kind of things that, we want to look for those opportunities. But at the end of the day, I mean, those aren't the batting cages and bullpens, right? I mean, again, all that stuff adds up, and that's great, but we do have to get to the larger issue. And I think a lot of that is maybe some of German's items, not even to speak of, the revenue aspect.
Okay. Well, we have middle school principal here who can speak to more technical applications. He's able to see it both two. Technical and speak up.
Well, I don't want to get into the middle school concept tonight necessarily, because again, it kind of wore us out on some earlier topics, but not you specifically. But I think that that's the kind of thing that we need to talk about. Because to Tim's point, I mean, it's on the list, and is it real, and are we going to do something about it? I don't know. I mean, no one's ever brought it forward after all the back and forth and meetings with you. I mean, we didn't bring it back forward to.
Well, I think it's up to the administration to bring that to us, right? To balance that. That's what I'm asking. I'm challenging them, right? If they're going to add these dollars to the budget, right? Then what there's something you got to balance this out, right? You can't just continue to do that. We've got to take a look at this, or else in the future, and it might only be 2 years, Tom, in the future, that there's going to be some significant discussion that's not going to be a positive one.
And maybe it was a little open-ended, where we left it with Dr. Dearman and administration in the fall, because what we asked him for was, what could we look at in terms of cost savings, and maybe it should have been more prescriptive to say, if you're looking at $1 in, $1 out kind of thing, what would you look at? I mean, if that's what you're getting at.
I think I've always talked about, that's why I didn't approve the deficit budget, right? Because I want the balance.
This year,
right? Previous year, so that's because we will get into that separately. We'll take that offline, Tom. But yes, but you can see projecting out where we're going to be. So my challenge to them is, I don't have any issue with this, and we need this, right? But I would like to see the budget balance, because we've been in a deficit. Now we're going to be 5 years in a row. That's going to cause significant issues.
I just want to ask, as a new board member, has there ever been any previous boards in past years and previous requests for teachers that were not approved?
Or we change whatever proposals
were. I didn't hear the question.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
In the past years, have there been requests for additional staffing that was denied by the board?
For sure.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
So These have been ongoing things, so if we would have approved in the past, little by little, we would be at the situation where we would have to, with 10 teachers now. 10 teachers. Because the only thing, I agree with what you're saying, Teresa, about, we have to find a way to, balance the budget and everything, but there's ways to resolve the deficiencies or the deficit that we're in the future. We have to figure that out, but we all know there's ways. But there's no way to go back on the performance of the students. Because if there's a lack of teachers, then the students are the ones that fail every day. When the teachers are overwhelmed, the students are the ones, they're overcrowded in classrooms, and without, especially special education, if they don't get the resources, the main one that fail are the students. There's no going back on that. So that's why, I think we need to approve this now. Of course, it's an issue with deficit. There's gonna be questions that we're gonna have to follow through on, and we're gonna have to go with that, but right now, we have to pass this so the students don't fail. It's not my look at it.
Tom, if I could add, I think one of the things that we have to do though, I don't know that we can eliminate from our conversation that eventually we're going to have to give them, the administration, some guide rails of what it is that we are willing or unwilling to cut if there are cuts involved. In other words, to suggest, well, you guys need to figure out a way to balance your budget, bring us some options. Well, it would be a waste of time if the board isn't ever going to approve those types of options. So in other words, if it's the middle school thing, for example, we should be able to tell them before they go spend a bunch of time to figure out what that cost savings is that something that we're willing to do or not? So I think we have to have as a board some conversations about what is the temperature of the board on whether it's cutting programs, cutting positions or whatever, or the result I think that we all see coming down the track. It's been coming down the track now for 6 years. Eventually there's going to have to be more revenue. And if there's no other way to find it, that revenue will be a tax change. And that's just the reality of the world we live in. But it's also a reality of the world that people move to Dunlap because of this district, not because we have cases. And so we have to make sure that the district has all the resources that it needs to be able to provide the services for the kids. And so I think we need to be fair to the administration and say, listen, here's what we'd like you to bring to us. These other things are off the table because we as a board don't want to take the time to consider those. And I think that's the conversation we need to be able to have to give some more direct information to the administration on what we're willing to do.
Can I get to that, Tom?
Okay.
Okay. I know it was probably, what are we in, March now? Maybe it's November. Is that when I asked for a finance committee? I don't remember when it was. Sometime like that. Is that when it was? Time flies when you're having fun on this board. Let me propose this, Mick. Would you be agreeable to have a finance committee meeting starting soon, right, with this board, that we can look at that? If we can do that and come up with something, Mick, to get us to where we need to be. I'm concerned about this clearly. I talk about it every meeting, right? But is that, I can look at this, Tom, if we approve something like this with the caveat that we will have a finance committee that will be looking at these to get us to where we need to be to have a balanced budget. And we have to have some type of goal there, something that's going to get us there. So that would be my request to you, Mr. Board President.
Otherwise, it doesn't get done.
What's that?
It'll never get done if we don't put their hands on it.
We have to, there's got to be, yes.
But I think here's the problem with my understanding of a finance committee. This is really something we all need to participate in.
Yes.
And so is that an open conversation that we have? I'm all for that. I think we should have that. I think that conversation needs to take place in front of the stakeholders, as opposed to like a committee of where there's only two, administration plus two, so we don't violate it.
No, I was thinking more of a board committee, and I know some of us don't like that because we're here too much, but absolutely, I think it has to be everybody, Nick. Yep. Everybody has to do this because we're talking the whole district here. I think everybody's got to be included in this.
I would be completely in favor of bringing out all the options for all stakeholders to be able to hear us talk about and to gather their input.
Can I add one
hopefully
thing?
wrap this, oh, go ahead, Nick.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to point out, like, I think we all saw Dr. Dearman's PowerPoint slide that had the 3 scenarios, the third being like the nuclear approach, which, in my opinion, completely changes what this district looks like moving to the future. And I've said this openly before on the board, but I think we need to really think about what we want this district to be as we move forward into the future. Dunlap has a standard of excellence in academia. I think, to Mick's point, people move here for a specific reason. And I think if we start stripping that away, people are going to leave our district. And I mean, we really need to think about that when we make these decisions. And ultimately, through the conversations I've had, these positions are a need and not a want. And I think we have to ensure that we're supporting our faculty and staff and what they need. And we can really, talk about the wants and what we want to do from a financial standpoint, but I think we really need to think about what we want this district to look like moving forward.
2 things to hopefully wrap this up. One, the positions like the middle school concept is being discussed, certainly willing to look at that. That will not be available as an option for next year because we have specific timelines we have to follow legally to give notice to our teachers and staff, and we will not be able to meet those for next year. So just to make that clear, it's not going to happen for next year. Secondly, Teresa's absolutely right. I mean, I've said it before when I did the financial presentation. This is not new information. I've been saying it for 7 years. And we've been beneficial, and I gave specific examples. I won't give them again of how we've been able to kick that can down the road. And we're doing it again, as I stated in my superintendent report, with the bonds that came in, and the bids that came in better than anticipated. We'll be able to extend that even further. No one wants to raise taxes. I don't. I'm sure the board doesn't either. But the days of Dunlap living off the exponential growth in EAV are gone. Our expenses are going up much faster than what that EAV is, and that's something that's going to have to be considered. Is it next year? Is it 2 years? I don't think it's 2 years, especially if we use this money, which I talked about earlier, wisely, maybe 4 or 5 years down the road. But to say, we have to have a balanced budget, the only way that's going to happen really under the current conditions is people and programs. I mean, I've demonstrated clearly our efficiency. I gave you statistics. Tom verified them. They're not made up. They're real. We are very efficient. We're in the 96th percentile. So with that being said, I know that doesn't necessarily impact these positions, but those are conversations I totally agree with Teresa we need to have. I also agree with Nick. They need to be held out in open discussion so that all stakeholders are involved. So I would welcome that opportunity.
Okay, other comments or questions? Miranda, why don't you work with the members and pick a date for a meeting of the finance committee of the board. Talk to Dr. Dearman, and you don't have to check my calendar. Just name the time and place. I'll be there. Just make sure it works for everyone else.
So we have this one approval as presented, right?
Yes.
And we can't change that, all right, because
Well, we can.
I just want to make the caveat with these motions.
Possible to do it at the meeting, like half hour
With
before or
the,
something?
with the finance committee being formed, with the formation of a finance committee to review our finances, maybe something like that. I want that caveat in. I didn't have an issue with that if we have that caveat in these proposals. You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
So approved as presented.
No, I mean, it's gonna be that, just you can put as part, in the minutes, you can put as part of the discussion, it was asked and agreed upon that a finance committee would be,
formed,
would be scheduled moving forward, and then get into the votes, as it says, okay? And I'll look at it, and I'll make sure it's, I know exactly what you're saying.
with the intent of balancing the budget.
Yeah, I don't know that it's gonna say that sentence, but,
If that is the intent.
stretch goal, sure.
Target.
Goal is better than target, but yeah, we can You can work that sentence and then run it by me, and we'll run it by Teresa, and we'll see if we can agree on the sentence. Okay, there's a motion and a second.
I'll second.
Well, there's a motion and a second already. I wrote it down a long time ago, but I see it there. So Mick moved it, Andrew seconded it, and now, hearing no further discussion, it's a roll call vote.
Tyler.
Aye.
Wagenbach.
No.
Yen.
Aye.
Boudreaux.
Aye.
Feldman.
Aye.
Paul.
Aye.
Olszewski.
I, with the formation of a finance committee with the target of balancing the budget.
Okay, motion carries. Information regarding the 2026-27 special education teaching positions at Hickory Grove Elementary School and Wilder Wade Grade School has been included in the board packet. Do I have a motion to approve these positions?
I move to approve these positions as presented.
Thank you, Andrew. Any second?
I'll second.
Nick, any discussion? Roll call vote.
Wagenbach.
No.
Yen.
Aye.
Boudreaux.
Aye.
Feldman.
Aye.
Paul.
Aye.
Olszewski.
I, with the caveat that we form a finance committee with the target of balancing the budget.
Tyler.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, approve, information regarding the 2026-27 Dunlap Middle School teaching positions has been included in the board packet. Could I have a motion to approve these positions?
Move to approve the position as permitted.
Thank you, Seth. Is there a second?
Second.
And Nick, roll call vote.
Wagenbach.
No, it is. Tim, what were these positions? They're the DMS.
These are the DMS teaching positions. Dunlap Middle teaching. Sir?
Yeah.
He's a yes.
Yen.
Aye.
Boudreaux.
Aye.
Feldman.
Aye.
Paul.
Aye.
Olszewski.
Aye.
Tyler.
Aye.
Information, motion carried. Information regarding the 2026-27 Dunlap High School teaching positions have been included in the board packet. Could I have a motion to approve these positions?
I'll move to approve the positions as presented.
Nick?
I'll second.
Okay, Tim, thank you. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Yen.
Aye.
Boudreaux.
Aye.
Feldman.
Aye.
Paul.
Aye.
Olszewski.
Aye.
Tyra.
Aye.
Wagenbach.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Information regarding the 2026-27 special education administrator positions have been included in the board packet. Could I have a motion to approve these positions?
I move to approve these positions as presented.
Thank you, Andrew. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay,
Thank
next. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Boudreaux.
Aye.
Feldman.
Aye.
Paul.
Aye.
Olszewski.
Aye.
Tyra.
Aye.
Wagenbach.
No.
Yen.
Aye.
Does it come to a point where we're looking to go back to CEPCO? Does that make sense? I asked you that.
Hang on a second. Motion carried. Now go ahead with your question. Or you send it to me.
Yeah.
You're sending it to me.
You never answered it, but
Yeah, I got the information. I talked to CEPCO yesterday.
you didn't say anything or not?
We could, but it would be, we were paying when we left over $300,000 just in fees because it's based on enrollment. That figure would be closer to $400,000 now, just in fees, just to be a part of it, not alone, the services and stuff and the costs associated with that. When we pulled out, both Laura Hart and Karen Beverlin, who were both there, they were director, assistant director, both said it's a good move for you to pull out. Now, the transition wasn't the best, could have been planned better, but financially it was the right decision to make. We were paying the most in fees and getting the least in services.
Just for context, for everyone kind of hearing a little bit here, Tim asked, as part of his due diligence, looking at all these positions and everything. He was trying to get straight what we had been paying Seco versus now, versus addition of positions with our program versus before. He asked, and I started asking about that, so that's what that is.
Let alone the financial aspect, but part of the discussion at the time was, we're servicing our kids in our buildings now, in their home district, and not shipping them out to other locations. So that was, granted, not part of the financial discussion, but part of the discussion to make them move as well.
Yeah, so I think it was a math question more than it was a programmatic question.
It was.
So I don't want anyone leaving the room, with some big program change. It's just trying to quantify it from where we were with these new positions. That's all. Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn to closed session? I would like to move to adjourn to closed session for the purposes stated in the Open Meeting Act. I know of at least G, litigation. Is there anything else that anyone would like to add out of your letter choices? Okay, is there a second to my motion?
Second.
Nick? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. The time is 7:36. Thank you.
Let me close this door.
Yeah, it's but thank you.
Okay, can I have a motion to return to open session?
To return over session.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Motion carried. The time is 7:51. Could I have a motion to approve the human resources consent agenda?
I move to approve the human resources consent agenda as presented.
Teresa, is there a second?
Second.
Tim, any discussion? Roll call vote.
Feldman,
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
Holzhauser,
Aye.
Tyra,
Aye.
Wagenbach,
Aye.
Young,
Aye.
Butcher.
Aye.
Motion carries. Can I have a motion to approve the settlement agreement with parents and student number 55017?
I move to approve the settlement agreement as presented.
Teresa, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Youssef, thank you. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Paul,
Aye.
Holzhauser,
Aye.
Tyra,
Aye.
Wagenbach,
Aye.
Young,
Aye.
Bergeron,
Aye.
Feldman.
Aye. Motion carries. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Aye.
Tim, is there a second?
Second.
Nick? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. The time is 7:53. Thank you.
So I'll show you the end of
10 minutes. Glad to-
Mine might
Be
Is that?
Roger out. His son being.
So-
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They were playing a game, they lost.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, I talked about